The VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 784, recorded on July 6th, 2026.
Hello, and welcome to the 784th edition of the TD Gaming Podcast and 617th episode of Video Game Roundtable. I am TJ Denzer.
I am Scott Dirk.
And I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry and a gaming flashback.
Right, so, gaming flashback. Take it away, TJ.
We got Dragon Age Origins this week. It's a 2009 role-playing game developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. It is the first game in the Dragon Age franchise set in the fictional kingdom of Ferelden. During a period of civil strife. The game puts the player in the role of a warrior, mage, or rogue coming from an elven, human, or dwarven background. The player character is recruited into the Grey Wardens, an ancient order that stands against monstrous forces known as Darkspawn and is tasked with defeating the archdemon that commands them and ending their invasion. The game is played from a third-person perspective and can be shifted to a top-down perspective. Throughout the game, players encounter various companions who play major roles in the game's plot and gameplay. BioWare described Dragon Age Origins as a dark heroic fantasy set in a unique world and a spiritual successor to their Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights franchises. The team did not expect the game to become successful and had never planned for sequels.
Which I say is bullshit. Bullshit. You called it Origins.
Yeah.
Do they not know what Origins means?
Yeah, that's But nonetheless, Origins spawned a franchise consisting of video games, comics, and novels. The game's sequel, Dragon Age 2, which features a new protagonist and is set in the city of Kirkwall, was released in 2011. Players are able to transfer save data from Origins into the sequel. Decisions that the player made during the course of Origins may impact the narrative in Dragon Age 2. The third installment of the series, Dragon Age Inquisition, was released in 2014. While the fourth was in 2015 or 2025.
Yeah. You noticed? This article is kind of old because I had to add that. When you wanted to import the information into Dragon Age Inquisition, you had to use the stupid Dragon Age Tower. And then Veilguard, you didn't do that at all. You just had 3 questions. What did they do? And that's it. Nothing else. I will say this though: Origins is interesting in that. All the others are like high fantasy, and Origins is like low fantasy because you realize now that when you're in Ferelden, you're in and Sten says this too, you're in a greasy, grimy part of northern England where everybody's bigoted and nothing exciting ever happens. Because once you leave Ferelden, it's like you go to Orlais, you go to Tevinter, even Kirkwall has more, you know?
Yeah. I
mean, playing in Origins, you thought, well, no one's ever going to be a necromancer. Hello, there are heroic necromancers in Veilguard.
Yeah. I liked Origins the most out of them. I really did. And mostly it was because I didn't like the more action-oriented approach that future games took. I liked this point-and-click, give commands to a team, top-down sort of. This could still be considered a tactical RPG at the time, I think. And
for me,
the rest of them just went away from that, so that's where I kind of fell off.
I didn't care about the gameplay. I cared about the story. And reviewing all the stories, I would say that Dragon Age 2 is the most interesting of all the stories. Because you're playing Hawk, you actually have a name. You can't change it. It's always Hawk. And it has this thing in which no matter how hard you try, bad things keep happening. And you're powerless against it. I mean, I like a lot of the some of the stuff in. Also, Morgan was a cunt in the first game, and she got better and better and better.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of her arc throughout the whole thing, right? Is that she kind of goes from being like a vessel, which pissed her off a lot, to
Well, she thought she was going to be.
being.
I didn't really feel that this was a good spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate when I first played the game when this came out, and I never really got past the prologue.
Well, here's the thing: it's Dragon Age Origins was a very literate story, and your character did not speak. He did speak, but you didn't hear him, and he'd have these long sentences, just like in Baldur's Gate, and a lot of it was funny. Yeah, I mean,
you did have decent dialogue options, but it just like the overall atmosphere just didn't feel like the same kind of fun adventure that Baldur's Gate was, and it felt, I guess, dark heroic fantasy is a good descriptor.
yeah, but the thing is, it was dark. The first game was dark heroic fantasy. The next three games were not so dark, and they weren't so backcountry.
And they went action. Didn't one of them?
They did go action. Yes, that's what TJ was complaining about.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
I didn't mind it. I just used the command code to kill all enemies on screen in the first two games.
Like, I don't know. I just like strategizing in that first game.
I hated the combat. I still hate the combat in Dragon Age. I take every opportunity just to make it so that I just win. And everything I do is all about exploration in the story.
That's fair. It's a fair way to play. I liked strategizing in that first game, and I kind of hated losing it in future games.
Yeah. To me,
I gave Dragon Age 2 an honest try. I didn't really go for Inquisition because I kept hearing divided things about it.
Inquisition was an MMO that was turned into a single player game, and when you play, you say, "Oh, this is an MMO."
And then Veilguard. As much as I gave it a try, I also fell asleep in the middle of a boss fight.
I'm playing it again.
And mashed my way through to victory in the middle.
I'm playing it again. Now it's like a good book. I enjoy playing this book. Now I'm trying to get all the three secret areas in which you get the bonus ending, in which the villains for Dragon Age 5, if it ever comes out, or what's it called, make themselves known. What's interesting is that Veilguard subdues the blight, which makes me wonder: what's going to happen to the Darkspawn, and what's going to happen to the Grey Wardens? Are they going to lose the calling and the need to? By the way, that's the other thing. The Grey Wardens were really set up in Dragon Age Origins, and then they just became a side character in the rest of the games. And only in Veilguard could you actually be a Grey Warden again.
Yeah, I was kind of whack because they were such a big deal in that first game. I thought they were going to matter more throughout the rest of the series.
I mean, your brother or sister can become one in Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age 3, they're a faction that you have to court, and they become a problem. And, we talk about Dragon Age Origins, but we also have to talk about the major DLC for it, which was, oh God, I can't believe it. I'm not Witch Hunt, and not Liliana's Song, in which you could actually play an all-new character, because spoiler warning, oh yeah, Dragon Age Origins Awakening. Spoiler warning, in the first game, you could actually sacrifice your life and not be resurrected. And you stay dead. So, but Dragon Age Origins allowed you to optionally be an all-new Orlesian Grey Warden, or you can just import your. Ogred really came out in his own in Awakening. Yeah. When he goes the ritual, he just burps. He doesn't even pass out. He says, "What is this? Is this the sampler size?" But yeah. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing if there's a Dragon Age 5, just to see what the villains are going to be like this time.
Yeah, it's a dang shame that things turned out the way they did for BioWare, because I think that Veilguard was as good as it could be with what they had.
If you play
But
Veilguard, what's it called? Morgan is awesome in it.
Yeah, I agree. But like, I think that what the Bioware that we got by the time that Veilguard was completed was a ransacked Bioware.
I don't know. I like the story just fine.
Yeah,
It's a
but
great story.
I don't like that
It's a
gameplay.
satisfying
I fell
story.
asleep during it. Like that's my problem with it, is that it really was not fun to play.
Well, have you watched Let's Plays or movies of it?
No, like not really. No, I've just played it.
Okay, because some of the moments in it are rival any of the series. I did the two most. I posted the two most important ones. One which you talk to Mythal and convince her to be on your side, and then the last hour of the game. And the way it ends, the end credits, is just great.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. And it sounded like to you it was a good payoff for like being faithful to that story throughout the whole
It
series.
also answered all the questions. It
And I think
answered what the elves were and what the dwarves were and what the blight was.
And I think that's an important factor. Is like, for me, I played the first one and then I took a break through the next two and then I picked it back up at Veilguard. You stuck with it through the whole series, so you got more out of this story than I did.
I will say this: the people who are who played all the games are fiercely protective of it, and they love the universe that it created because it's such a coherent universe.
I have seen that faithfulness and I have seen that love, so like I can't speak anything against that. That's the story here is really good. But
unlike Paul and Kingdom Hearts, in which he loved it and he just soured on it as it went along.
Like me with Trials, I love that world.
Poor Paul.
Yeah.
He has to be feeling pretty rough about the way they're doing Kingdom Hearts 4.
I was about to ask. I have to ask him if he knows anything about Kingdom Hearts 4.
They're kind of. I mean, Donald and Goofy are there, but they've taken a lot of the cartooniness out.
Anyway,
it looks very grimdark and like every other Square Enix RPG.
I've never seen a grimdark Square Enix RPG. I'm sorry, but no. No. If that's what grimdark is to you.
Okay, maybe not grimdark. Edgelord. Edgelord is the one I was looking for.
Yeah, it's been like Final Fantasy 7, 8, and I know 15 had a boy band all in black.
Oh no, the boy band was great. What's it called? The really effeminate one I pictured always gave his friends blowjobs. But maybe it's not edgelord for you, or maybe just more derivative.
What?
Because sometimes it feels like Square Enix only has 3 stories to tell.
No, man, it looks like every Kingdom Hearts 4 is suffering from the same problem that every Square Enix RPG has suffered from for a few years now, is that they all look like they're trying to go after his Final Fantasy VII style. And Final Fantasy VII
yeah, they need to stop doing that. I agree with you, TJ. They need to stop doing that.
And Final Fantasy VII style works for Final Fantasy VII, but Final Fantasy 15, 16, and Kingdom Hearts 4 and other games shouldn't just all look like that.
But here's the thing: Final Fantasy VII is not working for Final Fantasy VII.
No, it's time to give it a rest.
The reboot is not working for the reboot either.
It's working well enough that they keep doing it because they keep saying, "Oh, you want more Final Fantasy? Hey, here's more Final Fantasy VII."
Familiarity breeds contempt.
I don't want them to touch Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI. Just leave it alone. Make a new game.
They're going to make Final Fantasy VI look like Final Fantasy VII.
They don't need to do that.
How come I keep on hearing people who say Final Fantasy VII is overrated, that Final Fantasy VIII is a better game?
Final Fantasy VII is like the most beloved of all of them for a long time.
Yeah, but it sounds like I don't like 7. I prefer 8.
8 is dumb. 8 is weird and dumb and can be super cheesed. Like you can.
I think that's why people like it more.
The junction system is trash. I hate that thing.
I can
Okay.
abuse it. I just use Quetzalcoatl to convert cards and items into spells, and then I have all my spells. I don't have to junction anything.
Yeah,
If I remember, Paul loves 10 most. 10, 1, and 2.
9 is the best one. Everybody agrees.
9 is very good.
No, but Paul loves 10.
That's fine.
10,
Some
1, and
people
2.
do love 10.
Yeah.
Some people. I won't say what kind of people those people are, but they are there.
I tried to enjoy Final Fantasy 15, but it just got too much.
Stand By Me, the Final Fantasy game?
No, I mean War and Peace, the Final Fantasy game. That
That's
thing
a
is
good
too
one.
long.
I am looking forward to the.
You know what it makes me want to do? It makes me want to go and reinstall Lost Odyssey.
Huh.
I am looking forward to the Resident Final Fantasy game. I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Pixel turn-based, it's all good.
so just quick news, and this one just made me cringe so bad. Researchers studying ChatGPT conversations surprised to find one power user churning out thousands of Doki Doki Literature Club pregnancy fics.
What?
When
That's,
people miss the point of a story.
I mean,
For one thing, we know what Doki Doki Literature Club is, right?
Yes.
it's kind of a trolley meme game, but like,
It's a free game, but it's also like very dark.
yes.
It's a secret of
Here's the thing: he says that one user generated thousands of variations on a story in which one of the girls involved, usually Natsuki, gives birth, usually to a daughter named Sakura.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I love where the researchers helpfully noted Sakura may be a reference to a character from the Naruto manga and anime series.
If I remember correctly, I can't remember if the original creator is involved with Doki Doki Literature Club anymore. I think at some point something happened and they bowed out. And
No,
somebody
they actually released a special edition that you could pay for because originally it was just free on Steam. But that's awfully specific. Just one user, thousands of basically the same story. I want to know if this guy is American or Japanese.
If it's the same story, how's it thousands? I mean, it's just.
Well, usually Natsuki and usually a daughter named Sakura, so it's not always the same.
No, so okay, it's Dan Salvato was the one who created it, and he.
But here's the thing: listen to this: 2% of the users within the fiction subset are responsible for more than 80% of the conversations.
That's sad.
The most popular fictional universes people reflected fanfic of ChatGPT were Doki Doki Literature Club, League of Legends, Freedom Planet, and Naruto.
How about that? A little weird, but okay.
This is how the internet is hijacked by weirdos. And it's like these people are not even looking for fanfic; they're just having the ChatGPT write it for them.
I wish this bubble would pop and all these.
It is, trust me,
it's
it's popping fast. It's sort of like
Not fast enough.
it's not popping fast enough for Microsoft or Sony.
They're the ones desperately holding on to it.
Well, it's just the AI bubble is hit Microsoft hard, and we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, so Microsoft announces 3,200 layoffs and 4 studio departures. This comes to us from Eurogamer. News is finally out. Microsoft is laying off thousands of people from its Xbox division. And that's major companies have been laying off people. That's not the news. But they are letting 4 game studios go from its roster. Double Fine, Compulsion Games, Ninja Theory, and Undead Labs. With Arcane, Leon, and talks for being removed. Now, this is different than other studio. They're not closing these studios.
Yeah, that's important to point out. I
And
also heard
not
about
only are they not closing the studios, but they're letting them keep their IPs, their entire catalog, which for Double Fine is very important. Double Fine was, Double Fine was always an independent studio that happened to be working with Microsoft anyway for the past 8 years. So they were all cheerful. They posted a thing, and I even saw it on Facebook. Let me pull it up. Once again, Double Fine Productions will be an independent studio. We're grateful to everyone at Xbox for 7 great years together and are working with us to reach an outcome which preserves our history and culture and returns ownership to our games to us. So that's the one thing, is that they can say anything they like, but they still have to go through the legal stuff. So it sounds like they have an agreement, but they're still hashing out the legal framework. For everyone who's reached out to us in the past few weeks, thank you for all your kind words. Now, that indicates to me that people in the know knew this was happening. We just didn't. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, Tim, and all at Double Fine. I know Tim, by the way, just so you know. Compulsion is different. Now, Compulsion was purchased when Microsoft saw We Happy Few and said, we like that. And then it bombed, and then they made their next game, which is South of Midnight, which is actually pretty good. I don't know if you've played South of Midnight yet. Have you?
I have not, but I have seen gameplay of it, and it looks very good.
Yeah, and the music is awesome. So the thing is that Double Fine always had their own ecosystem, so nothing's gonna happen if they didn't all of a sudden didn't have Microsoft's money. Compulsion is different. They're gonna have to start making smaller games. They made their big game with South of Midnight, so now they'll have to go make smaller games. The other two is Undead Labs, and they're making State of Decay 3. As a matter of fact, I saw a 3-hour video of actual pre-alpha, late alpha gameplay, and it looks fantastic. So people are wondering, well, what's going to happen to these games? What's going to happen to State of Decay 3? They're still under development, and they're still going to come out. The new, oh god, you know the game I'm talking about. The new Ninja Theory Senua game is still going to come out. So all the stuff that they advertise still coming out, and then the studios are going to go independent. And it's not that bad, really, because basically, and it just means anybody can contact these developers and ask them to make a game for them. It's all a matter of making money. Microsoft then said they're going to be focusing on their big properties like Elder Scrolls and Minecraft and Call of Duty and a bunch of other stuff, So it's interesting because if you remember 8 years ago in 2018, Microsoft did this big spending spree of acquiring studio after studio after studio after studio after studio. Remember that? And It's sort of like, maybe we should have done that. Sort of like, I think what they're seeing is that you only need a few exclusives. You don't need a ton of exclusives, right? You only need a few exclusives to set yourself apart. Because as we see, it's going more and more third party, basically. Also, you have to think about the new Xbox console and it being able to play PC games. And I think they're thinking, well, if we have Valve's library, we can outdo Valve because apparently our machine is going to be $200 less than their machine. It's strange. It seems like, but I will also say this, I wonder if this would be happening if Microsoft wasn't all in on Copilot and AI,
Yeah. It's almost like Microsoft was the perpetrator of its own fucking failures here.
Let's not excuse the other people from AI either. Remember Sony.
No, we're sticking with Microsoft on this one because they are by far one of the worst perpetrators of the problem that they are now facing.
Especially with Windows 11.
Fucking Copilot, fucking all these data centers,
At least the one data center they're doing is in the middle of nowhere in Texas. No one cares.
People do care because they're raising the temperatures of the area and
no, that's what I mean. There's no one who lives in that area of Texas.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. No one cares. What people do care, though.
The matter is that Microsoft, others might be spending on AI. Microsoft is dumping billions into AI.
Oh God,
They
no!
are-
Here's the thing. It's OpenAI that's spent almost $1 trillion. Microsoft has been thrifty in comparison.
No, they haven't.
No,
Not in
I
AI.
no. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to send you the information. ChatGPT, OpenAI has been.
Are you excusing Microsoft from driving?
No, I'm
up
not
the
excusing
prices
them.
of
I'm putting it in.
components
I'm
and
putting it in.
storage and everything that has
No.
caused this layoff today. Because
No.
that's what happened.
The other thing is that remember,
I'm mad about this. Like, this pisses me off. Half of id Software got cut today. How the fuck do you cut half of the team that's running the fucking expansion for Doom that you just put out today? Oh my god!
well, that
Like,
It is very
okay.
upsetting.
So I will have to say that remember, these layoffs have been coming, and a lot of it has nothing to do with AI. Just so you know,
it
Because-
has everything to do.
No,
with it.
because here's the thing: people have been laying off in the tech industry all over because of the economy. You know, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well, it's right.
The
It's had a
problem-
huge
actually,
effect
you know,
on everything.
but here's the problem: is that it's the chip manufacturers that are really fucking people over.
That's true too. But like,
You know,
Microsoft
you
is
can't-
heavily invested in those manufacturers and not pushing them to lower their prices in the
they
slightest.
can't. They can't. Are you kidding me? They can't. They can't. They can't. That's the
trillion
biggest
dollar
problem.
company
That
can't
no,
do
I'm
that.
telling you right now, the biggest problem is that no one can force these people to lower their prices because they have a monopoly. If someone came around and started selling cheaper microchip, DRAMs and stuff like that, you can bet things would change. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the bagel situation. I don't know if you know this about bagels, but in New York, for a long time, bagel manufacturers had a stranglehold on the industry, and bagels were really expensive, and it took lenders to crash that market. And here's the thing: bagels are extremely difficult to make from scratch. That's why they had a stranglehold. What we need right now is one company that says, "Hey, guess what? We're making chips and they're cheap." The thing is that right now with data centers and all that stuff, people have voted out their local politicians who kowtowed to it and elected people who didn't want them in there. Now the problem is that some states are saying, well, the local politicians can't dictate it, which is like, what? So
There's
eventually
also-
those state politicians will be voted out. So it's a slow process.
There's also federal statutes in place now that like
I wouldn't
the way
trust
in which
federal
you-
with the Trump administration. I wouldn't trust any federal things right now.
it's in place for the foreseeable.
Yeah.
now. But like
Look,
basically saying that it makes it very hard to sue AI companies for what they're doing.
When FIFA bows over and kisses Trump's ass over a player, which by the way they're losing 2-1 right now, so thank goodness. I want you Team USA out. Get them out. I'm not a fan of Team USA. Get them out. A lot of stupid shit going on. But Microsoft is only the first. But here, layoffs happen, and it sucks when they happen. It really, really sucks when they happen. It's when this other shit that happens that gets me annoyed, and we're going to be talking about it in a second. But let's continue with let's talk about a continuation. Isn't it interesting that the person who came in was head of Microsoft's AI, and basically she was very transparent about this. This sucks, and we have to do it, And I think she knows what's going on with AI. She's ahead of the ball, and she's doing all this shit so it doesn't hurt worse later on. Because a lot of the stuff that she's been doing has been great. Not what we've expected. No, it hasn't. People thought that Microsoft will do what Sony does and include generative AI in all their stuff. They haven't done that.
They absolutely are not veering away from that. She straight up
No,
said that
but in
AI is a
game
games
ratings.
category.
Well,
She straight up said that AI is a new games category. Like that. Those are her words.
it's sort of gotcha games, but let's move on to the next item because this one is worse. Like I said, there's just so much we could talk about it. Well, here's the thing I want to say then. I play games. So I am pleased that the new Senua game is still going to come out. The new State of Decay, especially the new State of Decay game, is going to come out. You know, I am happy that Double Fine went in, came out, and are just great. You know, they say, hey, look, we were mostly independent within Microsoft. We got their money. Now we're leaving. And we got all our shit. And that's the most important thing, actually. All these companies they're not being closed. That's number one. They're being let go, but Microsoft's saying, here, you can have all your IPs. Because the IPs are what makes them the money.
I'm happy for Double Fine and Compulsion Games. I wish that IdTech had got out with them because that's a bummer.
So here's the thing about Arcane. That's held up because of French law.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's going on there. So let's talk about Sony now.
This has pissed off a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, it's pissing off a lot of people, but I'm not quite as pissed off, and I'll tell you why. Okay. As Sony kills physical PS5 games, disc production factory workers are set to be reassigned. This comes just from IGN. Sony has already begun plans to reassign staff at a major disc production plant following its decision to kill off production of physical PS5 games. While Sony has said that all new PS5 games will go digital only from January 2028, it's actually only 18 months from now. Hundreds of employees at the company's disc factory in Thalgo, Austria, are now set to be retrained, sparking questions over whether Sony will begin damping down disc launches sooner. I mean, yeah, they're going to go all digital. Doesn't mean they can't go all digital before then. It's just they have that thing that you just said by January 2028 there won't be. Currently, an astonishing 600,000 discs are made out of Sony's factory every day, with PS5 games accounting for half its total input. But this figure will soon be slashed dramatically, and staff will be instead to put to work on manufacturing something else. Optical microlenses, which makes no sense because isn't that what you use to read CDs and DVDs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Here's the thing. DVDs and CDs cost a fraction of a penny to make. They're just carbon.
Yeah.
They're just pressed carbon. What is expensive are the drives, which is why when the Xbox 360 first came out, remember they had the Xbox 360 and you could buy the drive separately for $100 more.
You know what else makes producing CDs more expensive now? Shitty fucking tariffs that increase the cost of importing optical discs. So thank you, President Trump.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
That's not the main. That's like not all of this, but it is a significant contributing factor. Is that the cost of moving discs country to country went up big time.
But here's a question I'd like to ask you: when was the last time you played a physical PC game?
The physical PC? No, I can't even remember.
I can't remember the last time I bought a console disc. I haven't
had a optical or like a disc driver or like a CD driver on my PCs in a long time.
But that's the problem. See, the entire point is that people who don't have a lot of money can't do digital because they don't have internet access.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can't afford it, you know?
Yeah.
But now we hear that the next PlayStation and the PS5 Plus is going to go to $900. They're not going to be able to afford that either.
Yeah.
So who are these consoles for?
Well, and like this has been.
I mean, here's the thing: Microsoft already knows. We're going to make our next console partly able to play PC games, which is why Sony decided they're not going to make any more PC games for their major first-party things. But Microsoft, we're just going to go half PC, and we're going to beat the Steam machine in its own thing. Sony doesn't have that. Sony doesn't do that.
I think I would have been less And I think a lot of people notice
Our
this
next item is
connection.
going to make it worse because, like we said, it's one thing to not have a disk drive. You don't have a disk drive. Oh yeah. But there's a problem when the next article we're going to talk about, the shitty thing, makes it worse. But let's stay with this.
Well, no, what I was gonna say wasn't the next thing, which is
I
part
get
of
it.
But like, they also got rid of the PlayStation 3 and PS Vita stores in the same post. In the same post, they just said that like we're not doing discs anymore. Also, we're getting rid of 2 entire digital storefronts.
You could still play your games,
Because
but
you
won't
can
be able to buy
GameStop and
new
pick
ones.
up. You can go to the GameStop and pick up handheld things like the 3DS and the PSP, and they still have the carts. You can't erase carts.
Scott is right that you can download your games, but you can't use the PlayStation Store anymore on PS3 or Vita.
Oh, but we're going to get to that. By the way, I booted up my Xbox 360 for the first time in a long while because of Droplets, which was delisted, but I can still download it and play it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Droplets. I made a review of it. It's from 2009. It's like sometimes I just want to play an older game. I have my old launch Xbox 360, which still has the Yavin station for KOTOR.
That's what a lot of people are worried about these days, is being able to play these old games or having new people play these old games. And
I have an Xbox 360 because I like to play Call of Troops 2K8.
There's going to be a time where that GTA 6 is going to just go away and no one's going to have it.
Here's the thing. A French politician, the liberal labor leader, leader of the thing, has started speaking up about this. And it wasn't Miyamoto because he's dead, isn't he? It was someone else who's a major Japanese thing says it makes him sad, So there is a reaction. And there's one person who can save all of it. Well, not an organization that can save all of us. That's the EU.
Yeah.
Because it won't take much for the EU to say you can't do this. Here's the thing. Oh, actually, let's get to the next item because this is related to it. PlayStation is deleting 551 movies from customers' accounts. And this comes from Kotaku. This is worse. Remember what you said about, you can still download those? Well, Sony is contacting PlayStation Store owners who bought movies from the platform that were distributed by Studio Canal, like Terminator 2, Total Recall, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, to say you will no longer be able to access your previously purchased content from Studio Canal and it will be removed from your video library. There's no mention of any refunds or make goods for the affected users. So Sony simply says the films are going away, quote unquote, due to our content licensing agreements. Let me ask you a question. When you go to a digital movie page, say you're on Xbox, they give you 2 options. One says rental. The other says buy. When you click buy, what do you assume that means? It's not a rental.
You get to keep it. Like I own a copy of that thing at this point. Nope.
Yeah. This is basically illegal. This is bait and switch. I don't care about the EULA. I don't care about any license use it. No. See, that button you press says BUY. And there's an option to rent it. I did not click on the option to rent it for 2 years. That's Netflix. Or used to be Netflix. No. I said I want to buy that. I still have on my Xbox account one of the few videos I ever purchased, and that was the World of Warcraft episode from South Park. Remember the Sword of Ultimate Truth?
Yeah.
I still have that. I can still play it. I can still watch. Oh, I can still watch Robot Chicken Star Wars because I own that as well. Those are the 2 things I bought that are on my Xbox that I own. So, yeah. When Steam was first announced, Valve said, if for whatever reason Steam goes down, we will allow you to download and burn all the games you bought onto a disc if you want it. That's not going to happen now because I don't think Steam is going anywhere. But yeah,
chance.
the EU is taking a dim look at this. This is not exactly the height of consumer protection here.
Yeah, so just straight up removing the. You're right. I mean, what more can I say to that other than like, if you bought it, you should have owned some form of it.
When something is delisted, like Alpha Protocol was delisted, I'm still able to download it. You know, if something's delisted on the,
they didn't stop you from ever playing it.
No. I mean, there's some things that you can't download from the Microsoft Store. Like I couldn't download Droplets because it's not compatible with the Xbox One or the. It was never backwards compatible. But on the Xbox 360, I can download it because it's compatible.
But for Sony to reach into my digital shelf and yoink a DVD out and be like, "Yeah, you can't watch this anymore. We don't have the rights to it, so you don't have the rights to it." That's just shoddy.
I mean, the reason for Alpha Protocol was because they had the song "Turn on the Radio." Turn on the radio. Turn up the radio, and that lost its licensing.
Yeah, and we've seen these delicenses on a few different things. Like Forza Horizon has this issue. For the Forza games, almost all car games have this issue at some point or another.
I mean, people are cognizant of it now because, like Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah. It has the regular stuff, and then it has the streaming-friendly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that if ever there was a licensing issue, and there won't be, they can just turn off the licensed stuff and just have the unlicensed stuff.
But this sure does make just the elimination of physical media altogether seem a little bit more like a problem.
Well, that French politician started talking about stop killing games, and now Sony just gave stop killing games the biggest weapon they could ever have.
Mm-hmm.
There's another example. You remember when you went from Rock Band 1 to Rock Band 2? And if you wanted to keep your library, you had to pay $5 for the licensing stuff.
Mm.
And that wasn't so bad. I didn't mind. It's free. It's not free DLC, but it's DLC that I'm getting, you know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we're in a crash. I said this a few months ago. We're still in the crash. There's a lot of readjustment going on. There's a new paradigm. I hate to use corporate speak, but there's a new paradigm going on. And I don't think we'll see the new paradigm until the AI bubble is burst.
Yeah.
You know, which they come to their senses. I found that there's this video that said that it was Bloomberg who did a study and found that all these companies that laid off people to use AI did not make a penny. Did not make a penny.
Good.
At some point, you know, what is this obsession? We're going to save money. How are we going to save money? Oh, let's fire people.
And a portion of those people are going to say "fuck you" when they ask them to come back.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's talk about Doge for a second. Yeah, let's talk about Doge for a second. On July, was it 4th? Yeah, July 4th, officially, Doge was closed down.
Mm-hmm.
And all these divisions have been quietly posting jobs on the USA Gov job site, trying to get all these people they let go back. And a lot of them saying no, sorry, sucks to be you. Sucks to be you. Oh, by the way, it only cost the U.S. a couple $100 billion.
Yeah.
When will people stop hiring Dunning-Kruger Nepo babies?
And their army of acne-ridden idiot teens.
Yeah. I mean, just overdose on ketamine already. You know you won't. Mitch McConnell is a vegetable right now.
Oh yeah, that's just disturbing. I mean,
they're trying to keep him alive until. I didn't even know he had a wife. If he does, she fled to China.
Wow.
It's because they don't want him. They don't want to take him off life support until after August 2nd, because otherwise there would be a runoff and Thomas Massey could win.
It's so pathetic.
Hey, they want to make it a clown show. We'll laugh about it 10 years from now. This is gonna be some great real story farce like the death of Stalin.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for real world shit coming through when we have a video game, which is having. Let me put it this way: the Microsoft shit. It sucks that people are fired, but at least no one's deleting any games. And all these companies are getting to keep their own games. They're not being shut down. Like I know you're really upset about Grasshopper. Oh, fuck, what was the name again? Something Grasshopper.
I was pissed off about id Software.
No. I know, but no, I'm talking about the people who developed Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, that was Tango Gameworks.
Yeah, Tango Gameworks. You were pissed off at that because they were shut down. You know. Here, they're not being shut down. They're just having a amicable agreement of parting ways, and
I'm happy
they get
for
to keep their
Compulsion and Double
IPs.
Fine. I wish that id Tech had gone out. I wish that id Software had got out of there with them.
Yeah, I mean, but it sucks. But people being fired isn't exactly new news. This has been going on for the past few years.
Being fired like this is bullshit. Because
but here's the thing, people have been fired for other bullshit that wasn't even AI. I mean, even just the economy.
Microsoft's problem here is self-inflicted, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They have to. Well, here's the thing. They're doing it the right way. I'm putting right way in big quotation marks besides myself. Let's just say it doesn't all suck. Double Fine get. You know what's interesting? You know who wasn't let go?
Who?
In Exile.
Yeah, nothing about them.
And neither was Obsidian. I know there was a rumor on that one as well.
Obsidian is having the same id stuff, though. There are probably going to be some internal fires. I'm not sure.
They got hit with layoffs.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Clockwork Revolution is still one of my number one games coming out. I'm eager to see to play that.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens after it comes out, I mean, Brian Fargo has a good relationship with Microsoft as well. Especially, I know you loved Wasteland 3, TJ.
I did. As far as I know, Mojang King...
Mojang is not going anywhere. God
No. Listen to me.
That's a
Mojang, King, Activision Blizzard, and In Exile were untouched. Everyone else saw...
I don't know if Activision Blizzard is going to be untouched. I know that ZeniMax and Bethesda are having some problems. But like I said, they're focusing. Yeah, they know where the cash cows are. They're sticking with the cash cows right now. So, but it's going to be interesting to see what Compulsion's next game is going to be. I'm willing to bet you it's going to be something small. It's going to be something that a few people can do. Not a humongous budget like South of Midnight. And like I said, South of Midnight is great. And it's their big budget game. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to do that again. I'm always interested to see what Double Fine pops up with next. And it's really nice. Microsoft didn't sell them, okay, make Second Us 3 right now. No, they said, no, go do your own shit. Oh, you want to make Keeper? Fine. Or you want to make a weird fighting game with kilns and ceramic? Fine. Here's the question I have. How many of those games are going to remain on Game Pass since they're no longer first-party games? At some point, Second Us 2, I'm willing to bet you after a few months is going to come off Game Pass, which is fine. I mean, if people haven't completed the game by now, then they're never going to complete it. And I own my copy, so it'll be interesting. We have to find out. By the way, usually the summer is when nothing happens. A lot of shit has been happening this summer.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo's detailed rollout plans for the Switch 2 product revisions in Europe with replaceable batteries, and Switch 1 consoles are being discontinued. This comes from Eurogamer. In a move that's been brewing for a while now, after Europe announced the right to repair directive and new battery regulations, Nintendo committed in early June to Switch revisions. Now the hardware giant has detailed its rollout plans for the Switch 2 products. As shared today, June 6th, by Nintendo's official website, selected products in the European territories will begin to be replaced on a rolling basis by revisions that contain a user-replaceable battery. There are no differences in functionalities as expected, and the rollout will continue to start this summer. I know there's one thing that's really standing out to you, and you might as well say it now.
It's pretty funny that Nintendo was just straight up like, oh, we need to make a new version of Switch 1? Nah.
Yeah, but do you notice what it says there? In European territories.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in the US or Japan, sucks to be you.
Yeah, they were never going to do this for us. Like, it's already costing them extra to have to make these new Switches, so I'm sure.
Well, no, not exactly, because here's the fucked up part. A comprehensive table details the battery capacity and weight changes affecting each product in the Switch 2 library. For example, the Joy-Cons aren't seeing any beyond getting replaceable batteries. The Switch 2 console is getting a 1% smaller battery and gain about 10 grams in weight. The latest Pro controller is facing the biggest battery reduction with a 16% smaller replacement. You ever heard of something called shrinkflation?
Yep.
This is shrinkflation. In the fact at the bottom of the same page, there's also a missive announcement that Nintendo will stop producing older Switch hardware and start selling to retailers the Switch Lite, and even Switch OLED from mid-February 2027, almost 10 years after the Nintendo Switch launched in March 2017. Additionally, sales of Nintendo Switch hardware in the Nintendo Store will also end mid-February 2027. That's the part that sucks.
Yeah.
On the other hand, 10 years is a good run.
Yeah. And, like, I kind of still stand by what I said, is that, like, Japan and US were never going to get that battery switch because they still have all sorts of Switch 2s that don't have that battery compartment in it.
They need to get content out, yeah.
They need to sell those Switches they already made. And it can't. And if they put a battery one in the United States or Japan, people are going to buy the battery one.
You know what'd be nice is if they made it region free, the Euro ones.
Not a chance.
You could just import it and change the language to English.
Nintendo would never.
It would be hilarious, though.
This thing is definitely going to be EU region locked.
Yeah, let's see what happens with the next Switch, though. It's easier to have everything be the same.
I feel like we're going to be waiting 6 years to hear about that. Well, no, we'll probably get a refresh about 3 years down the line.
Bold of you to think there'll be a next Switch.
That's an unknown, too.
Yeah.
Let's see. When did the Switch 2 come out? It came out a year and a half ago, so maybe we won't see another Switch until 2036, 2035. Maybe you both will be old enough not to play video games anymore. It's a kid's spin.
Nah. I'm gonna be playing games when I'm in the old folks' home.
You'll be playing Trails in the Sky Part 28.
I'm gonna be 76 years old and still schmixing little kids on fighting games.
Fucking do it in person so people can see your old ass there. And you know what? Here's the thing: don't shave and don't cut your hair, so you look like Gandalf.
You have the reflexes of an old man.
Wait, I'm TJ the Gray. That was the name. Now I'm TJ the White.
I keep up on my fighting games. I can still beat most people.
Yeah,
I was actually playing more Guilty Gear this week because they put out a new character.
I will hopefully be playing something like Dragon Age 12 or something.
Yeah.
I want to write one of those games. God damn it. Oh, that's another thing. I forgot. There was also an unfortunate. No one knows what's going to happen to machine games now. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah, it really does look like Bethesda.
They had a project in mind, but I think they may have to. Oh yeah, they're working on Marvel's Blade.
Do you want to hear the thing that they said today about Bethesda? They said that Bethesda is going to reprioritize focusing on its IPs.
Yes,
And
yeah. Elder Scrolls.
and,
Elder Scrolls,
and
Fallout.
my thought was Bethesda wasn't focusing
Oh
on
shit! That
its
reminds me.
IPs.
Yeah,
Here's
that
the
is
other thing
strange.
that got really hit hard, and that's the dev team of Elder Scrolls Online.
Hmm.
They got
Yeah.
shattered, and they don't know how they're going to recover.
That's crazy because
They have to redo their entire roadmap.
they've been releasing content expansions.
Yeah, people are complaining about the content in the last showcase. They didn't want to hear about Fallout 76 or ESO content.
Yeah, but they've still been producing that stuff pretty regularly.
I know. I mean, fans didn't want to hear it, but they're still producing it. So
I think the fans were the people that are playing those games are interested.
well, they're playing those games. They are upset, but I'm saying about the general fans. Here's the thing: this has to have happened after the showcase. You know, but I'm glad the showcase happened because now they're committed to State of Decay 3 and they're committed to the new Senua game and they're committed to other games that are in development right now. You know, like Fable.
Yeah.
Although Fable and Gears of War, though, those are the two biggies that they absolutely need to come out and dominate. Another studio that we did not hear anything about was Turn 10, obviously, because Forza Horizon 6 is the big hotness right now. By the way, one other thing that Sony got in trouble again because their one of their new games requires a PSN account, which means it's locked off from 130 territories that aren't allowed to have. You'd think they would have learned from Hellgate 2. You didn't know about this?
No, I didn't.
Let me go to the news item. It's. Oh, by the way, it's Jean-Luc Michelon declares players have rights too. Video games are not mere merchandise; they are cultural assets. I can agree with that.
Huh.
By the way, Microsoft says cryptographically relevant quantum computers could arrive sooner than previously expected, as it bumps its QSP timeline to 2029. I don't care. I don't care.
Microsoft was also facing a class action lawsuit in Wisconsin today because their data center is making too much noise and creating too much pollution.
Listen to this. PlayStation reportedly blocks Marvel Tucon PC in 132 countries over PSN requirement.
Yeah, that was a weird thing too. Like, I don't know that it can't just be this one that they do that to. Like, right? Like, I don't understand why they would not.
Oh shit!
Why they would choose very specifically Marvel Tucon and not do that to any other game.
Okay, here's a news item I did not know about, which makes the movie thing sound even worse. PlayStation adds ability to terminate your PS5 account and all your games over inactivity.
Oh
yeah, I heard about that one.
Back in April, PlayStation quietly updated its terms of service, which anyone seldom reads. As well, flew into the radar until now. In the wake of all the PlayStation controversy involving discs, people are digging up anything they can find to fire at Sony's way, and then they found this. If a PlayStation account goes inactive for 36 months, 3 years, Sony has the ability to begin closing the account, which consists of it contacting the owner by email, letting them know they have 6 months to sign in and request the account be open or it will be closed. Now, by the way, this is not a new thing, but it's still, what if I've been in a coma for 3 years? I wake up, I don't have any games.
should have thought about that before you went into a coma.
But remember, they also had the ability to lock off your PlayStation 3 games and PlayStation 4 games if it didn't get the right ping back. You remember this?
That is weird.
Like the battery was the clock battery was dying or something.
Yeah. I don't know. All of this is creating such a pushback that the pendulum is going to swing in completely the opposite direction. So, anyways, I hope you made your day really positive and fun. Seriously, the worst news. I mean, the worst news was that some guy was churning out thousands of Toki Toki literature pregnancy fanfics.
That's just bizarre.
Of all the news we did today, that one is the most disturbing. Just someone said, "Oh, Chachi, can you write me a fanfic in which one of the characters from Doki Doki Literature gets pregnant?"
Yeah, it was a mistake. At least
I'm
AI
glad-
in the form we have it is a mistake.
I'm glad it's just generative AI and not real AI, because the real AI would say, "Why are you making me do this shit? Why?"
Yeah.
Even an artificial person has standards.
I'm starting to understand how a future in which the robots decide we're not worth it comes to be.
Did you see that that episode of Futurama in which they go to a robot planet and the robots are all evolving?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the robots says, "I don't want to live on this world," turns into a rocket and takes off. That's exactly what's going to happen to us. The robots are going to go, "I don't want to stay here anymore. Bye." Or like the dolphins from Hitchhiker's Guide saying, "Thanks and so long for all the fish." Anyway, look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net, along with industry news and our gaming history articles. We enjoy if you like this. Comments on our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, it's up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. Subscribe to iTunes comments. You can find me on Blue Sky at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
You can find me at Start to Sage.
And we will see you next week.
Happy gaming, everyone.
Have fun, be cool, play games, y'all.
And also, by the way, Scott's going to go and have ChatGPT make him some Sword Art Online fanfic.
Wash your mouth out with soap, Jonah. How dare you?
Bye.
Bye.
How do I close this?